This book is not just a self-development book, but this book will completely change your life. There is no list of the best 10 books without this book being one of them, and it is sometimes topped by more than 400,000 people on the Yates website. They rated it with an average of 4.1 out of 5. Cast. But regarding this book is a miracle book. It will not only develop you, but will give you radical solutions in every aspect of your life, in your family life, in your marital life, in your personal life, and in your professional life. Rather, it will provide you with radical solutions even in your business. When we say in all aspects of your life, we literally talk about all aspects of your life, according to the Goodreads website. This book is estimated to have 381 pages. What you need to read, I read it, and I will explain it to you and give you its benefits, and I will explain to you a sufficient explanation that will make you free from reading the book, God willing. I will remove the stuffing from the book and give you the butter, and come on, so I won't be too long on the introductions. Explanation of the introduction to the book The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by the very great author Steam Richard Covey in this video. Your cup of coffee, my follower friend, or your favorite drink, and focus with me, because the words that are coming are very beautiful. It's very dangerous, and let's have fun. By God, my style is at the forefront. It made me feel like a football commentator. You are new to this channel. I am in this channel reading a book and giving you its benefits. If you would like to take the benefit of reading without reading it, subscribe to me, as is clear from the title of the book, My Friend Who Is a Follower. You will make a radical change in your life, and you will succeed in it once you apply these 7 habits. And note, my follower friend, that he said habits, not behaviors, and the difference is very big. Habits, my follower friend, are permanent behaviors. I put 1 million lines under permanent, and I would like to inform you that these are 7 habits. They are intellectual habits. The subject, God willing, will not be tired. All you have to do is be accustomed to thinking of these methods, and welcome to the world. Achieving success is excellent, but my friend, the follower, before I start, I explain the introduction. I want you to understand that the change we are talking about here is the radical change. I repeat and repeat the radical change, not its change. What is superficial? A day or 2 and it disappears? No, radical change lasts a long time, and Stephen Covey tells you to make a radical change. There is a key and a tool. Imagine it like this in the form of a closet with 2 doors. It opens the first door, then opens the second door, then holds on to the performance. It starts making the radical change. In this video, we will talk about the 2 keys, and we will leave the performance in a separate video, because it is very important, beautiful. The first key, my follower friend, is from the inside out, and by it he means that radical change begins from the inside out, contrary to what most people think. Many of us believe that change begins from the outside to the inside, meaning, for example, in order for his life to change, the external and surrounding circumstances must change. He has opportunities and paves the way for him. Obstacles go away, and this talk, my friend. The follower is wrong, the opposite is true. Real change starts from the inside out. If you change from the inside, all your circumstances change from the outside. Imagine, my friend, the follower, as soon as you reflect this concept, your life will turn upside down. For thousands of years, humanity believed that the earth is the one that is stationary, and the sun that moves until the very great scientist, Nicolaus Copernicus, came and told them no. The sun is the one who is stationary, and we are the one who is spinning. Of course, with all due respect to my friends, they believe that the earth is flat. Copernicus was with the team of human sphericals. He reversed the concept and made a leap in its history. Imagine if we did not reverse this concept, we would not reach all that you are seeing today in terms of development, scientific progress, and modernity. No planes, no satellites, no televisions, no mobile phones, no internet, and nothing of what you are seeing now, so thank you. Thanks. Thank you very much, Copernicus, if not for God. Nikos was not able to talk to me, my friend. The observer from this platform, and you, my friend, the follower, as soon as you reflect the concept of change in you, and if you change from within, your life will change completely, opportunities will rain on you, roads will be paved, and obstacles will disappear. It is coming to you, by God Almighty, that I feel suspended until now. I do not take the suspended position, but we do not have to. Let us continue. Can you ask me, my friend? Follower? Okay, what do I change from Goa, for example? Should I change my clothes to increase my financial income? And I don't settle? Upgrade the liver to become the president of a company? Or what should I do exactly? Ha! I like you, my friend, the followers, for your cuteness and lightness. I'm telling you, Stephen says change your thinking is invisible. Your intellectual will change your life. And this is the second key, my follower friend. Let me give you an overview of the power of intellectual perspectives. A French philosopher says I had a very strange experience with intellectual perspectives, and then made me doubt that this house is really real or just an illusion because of intellectual perspectives. The first time I was standing in a signal at an intersection, and there was an accident in front of me between a car and a tank. Judging by the fact that I witnessed the accident, the first time the traffic man came, I flew over him and said, "Oh, policeman." He said, "As I see you, Mr. Policeman." The policeman said, "But all the people who were present at the intersection and witnessed the accident say otherwise. You say the tank shepherd was the one who hit the car shepherd?" He said, "I tell you, the accident happened in front of me, Mr. Policeman, in front of my eyes. The car shepherd is the one who Saddam the poor shepherd of tanks, and look at my eyes, look at my eyes, I mean by lying my eyes they say that me and the policeman take and give, we take and give." Lynn the shepherd came, and he said to me, "Thank you for your testimony really, but the truth is that I was the one who hit my head with a car." Yes, my friend, the follower, the reaction of the French philosopher was exactly like that. So the French philosopher says I turned around and I could hardly believe what happened. Did my eyes really see the exact opposite? He says I sat all day thinking about this issue and thinking, how did you see the car that hit the tank shepherd? Then I finally realized that the reason is intellectual perspectives, because I have been believing and seeing all my life that tanks are much weaker than cars, and that it is impossible. My door hits a car shepherd, and when the accident occurred in front of me, the facts were distorted, and after that I began to doubt every fact around me. Is it really what it is? Or is it distorted by intellectual perspectives? Yes, my friend follower, intellectual perspectives. Strong to this extent, and more in intellectual perspectives are all the accumulated ideas, from the time I was born to this day, and all the experiences that I went through in life were all collected, forming those intellectual perspectives. And Stephen Covey says intellectual perspectives, such are the lenses through which we see the world, and these lenses differ from person to person. In some people, their lenses are clean, and in some people their lenses are dirty and scratched, and some of them are broken and concave or convex, and you are walking. And he says the first step towards radical change is that you remove intellectual perspectives and replace them with better and better intellectual perspectives in order to see the world through them in a better way. And when your intellectual perspectives change regarding anything, your dealings with it will change. Hence the radical change, my follower friend. For example, if the French philosopher was the traffic man and the accident occurred in front of him, the poor car shepherd would have ridden by mistake because of intellectual perspectives. And I will tell you, my friend who follows the story, through which Stephen Covey discovered the power of intellectual perspectives. But let me prepare my coffee and get back to you. Lie to you. Hi, Siri. 6 timers, 5 minutes. Okay. Really? Stephen Covey says, one of my sons is going through a difficult period during his childhood, during which his academic level fell below average, and his level in baseball was very disastrous. He says that my wife, Sandra, and I decided to support him and stand with him, to get him through this difficult period, and he says that if we attended a baseball game, we would shower him with cheers of encouragement. Come on son, you can do it, hold the bat well, and you will do it. And they finished this talk. If he made very little progress, he would exaggerate in praise. And we were the first line of defense in the shouts of bullying from his colleagues. He says it is strange that all this support that we fixed will not work. On the contrary, my son got upset and said, "Do not encourage me. I do not want to encourage you. I hate baseball so much, and I will not play it again after today." He should worry. Brother, American families. Cute, by God, we were so anxious. All my life I used to hit the air instead of the ball, and no one cared for me. The important thing is that he says that my wife, Sandra, and I sat down to discuss and try to find out the reasons. Those who thought all this support was of no use, they say, after several discussions, we realized that everything we settled for him is wrong. What a mistake, my friend. The follower says that with all our actions, we were reflecting on him. What is in our intellectual perspective? So it's as if we're telling him indirectly that he's right there, Bonnie, based on the standards of success set by society, that if you don't get very good grades in school, if you don't play baseball well, you're short. You suffer from weakness, and you need someone to support you and defend you. And my wife, Sandra, and I realized that in order for our son to change, we must change our thinking about him. And his support says, and because he was used to this support from us, we found a reaction from him, but we ignored it as if we were telling him to. Indirectly, you are natural and healthy, you do not suffer from weakness, you do not have deficiencies, you do not need our support or our defense, and that you, my son, have an independent personality that must form itself and manifest itself. They say, after we changed our intellectual perspectives, our boy changed, his academic level improved, and his performance in a game improved baseball, and even his relationship with his friends improved, and he formed much more relationships than before, so his personality formed itself, manifested, and emerged as we wanted her to. Oh Allah! Oh Allah! Oh Allah! Oh Allah! Is this possible? J. Stephen? Can you say my friend? Follower. No. Not for a moment, the topic is exaggerated. Do I change my thinking about my son because my son changes? Yes, my follower friend, this is the power of intellectual perspectives. Let me tell you this amazing story of a school in the 20th century. O group, the smart students, I put them in a class, and the students who have shortcomings in intelligence, I put them in a class and reveal the names for each class. They wrote this chapter, it has palaces, and this chapter has apartments. No Okia. This class is smart and this class has deficiencies in intelligence. In one of the academic semesters, there was a typo, so the classification was reversed in the list of names. He has shortcomings in intelligence. It happened, my friend. Observers said that they did not discover this error until after the term was nearing its end. And they were surprised that the results of smart students, it decreased, and the results of students with intelligence deficiencies increased, and the reason behind this is that the teachers acknowledge in the examination of a class of students with deficiencies in intelligence in the form of intellectual perspectives, that they are students with deficiencies in intelligence and deal with them in this way. They are actually deficient, and vice versa. Before entering the class of smart people, the teacher reads the class of smart people in the form of intellectual perspectives that they are smart and starts dealing with them as smart students. This improves their level of intelligence. Indeed, my follower friend, this talk is very true, and often my family and I discuss this issue and say, notice how foreigners deal with their children who are 5 or 6 years old. And this is exactly what Stephen Covey changed with his son, so instead of dealing with him as a boy suffering from deficiencies, he began to deal with him as a normal boy, and his academic level when this fell is normal, with a little effort, and he returns to the way he was. It is not a condition that his level in the game of baseball be superstitious in order for him to be a normal person, and this is how his son changes. This is the power of intellectual perspectives, my friend the follower, and as Stephen Covey said, when you change your intellectual perspectives about something, your dealing with it changes, and from here the radical change takes place. So he gives us Stephen Covey this very great quote says, if you sow an idea, you reap an action, if you sow an action, you reap a habit, and if you sow a habit, you reap a character, and if you sow a character, you reap a destiny. Oh, peace and on the road to planting and harvesting, my friend. The follower says Stephen Covey, often you will not be able to change your intellectual perspective between day and night, but rather to make a radical change. There is only one tool, which is the farm theory, my dear follower friend, and this tool I will explain to you, God willing, in a separate video, because it needs a cup of coffee other than the one you have with you, and I do not want you to drink 2 cups of coffee, my friend. Same day follower cheers I'm long-lived, but some intellectual perspectives. It may change at the same moment, and this has happened to us a lot, and it has happened to Stephen Covey too. Stephen says I remember a small paradigm-shifting experience I had as I was on my way to the subway in New York City one Sunday morning. Butter. It was a Sunday, meaning people were sitting quietly, some were reading newspapers, others were deep in thought, and some closed their eyes for relaxation. The atmosphere was calm and peaceful. Suddenly, a man entered the train carriage with his children. Aha fat, and they were making a great noise, which made a sudden change in the atmosphere of the trailer. God is my home. The man sat next to me and closed his eyes as if he could never see what was happening with his children, and the children were pacing the cart back and forth screaming and throwing things and even snatching newspapers from people's hands, which caused a great disturbance. However, the man did not move next to him, and it was hard not to feel annoyed, and I could not believe that this man was so insensitive that he would let his children do as they pleased without doing anything about it. Their actions. Or take responsibility for it. God is the sweetest to come back, my brother Stephen. Coffee is light-hearted. Come here. Come here. Come see what we have. He is in the mall at gate 1, and his children are at gate 17. People, sharks, security men, and everything. And one of them is lost. And time is not wasted. They get it twice. The pimp put the second one, and her kids need Interpol to threaten him while he's sitting. What matters is what we do. So he turned to the man and said, Sir, your children are causing a great deal of inconvenience to the passengers, so can you control them a little? The man raised his eyes and looked at him as if he finally understood what was going on and calmly said, You are right. I think I have to do something about it. We just got back from the hospital, and their mother passed away an hour ago. I am completely unable to think, and I think that they also do not know how to deal with the situation, Stephen says. Can you imagine how I felt at that moment? The perspective of thought changed completely, and suddenly I saw things from a different perspective, and because I saw things from a different perspective, I thought in a different way, and I had a different feeling, and therefore a different behavior came, as my distress was gone, and I was no longer interested in controlling his orientation and behavior. I felt the man's pain squeeze. My heart poured inside feelings of sympathy and pity as it is. Your wife has just passed away. I'm very sorry. Can you talk about it a little bit? Is there a way I can help you? And from that moment, things changed completely, according to Stephen Covey. Your intellectual perspectives can change in an instant, and it is certain that a situation similar to mine passed through you, and your intellectual perspectives changed in them. He says, and I am sure that if the rest of the annoying passengers on the bus knew the reason, it would have been other than their dealing with the situation, and he would meet them. They are kind and courteous to these children, with mercy and compassion for them. You gave him dead. That is why I was repeating to you, my friend who is a follower, that this is the power of intellectual perspectives. I know that the power of intellectual perspectives disturbed you, the power of intellectual perspectives, the power of intellectual systems. I know. But believe me, I am repeating and adding to it, because it is a very important task, and when I say this word to you, you may say exaggerations about me. By God, if you did not come out of this book except by realizing the power of intellectual perspectives, and how they will completely change your life, that would be enough. So my follower friend, we re-emphasize. The first key is to reflect your concept of change, and that real change begins from the inside, and after that all your surrounding circumstances change from the outside. And what you change from the inside is your intellectual perspectives through which you see the world, and that if you change them regarding anything, your dealing with it will change, and because changing intellectual perspectives requires the use of one tool, which is the theory of the farm, which I will explain to you in the next video, God willing. We are talking about a radical change, and a radical change takes time. What, my dear follower friend, I want you, after you finish this series, to have taken a turning point in your life, as I told you. This book will be a turning point. If you apply it exactly, your life will change. Promise, God willing, that it will change, and if you want to succeed, you will succeed. If you want to improve your marital relationship, you will improve it with your teenage children until you control it in every area of your life, God willing. I saw, my follower friend, that he entered Morocco to convince you that intellectual perspectives are powerful. Now, my follower friend, after knowing the power of intellectual perspectives, I want you to ask yourself these questions. Was the problem really in intellectual perspectives? Do I really see things around me in this way because of intellectual perspectives? Did I really form intellectual perspectives that made me see my family in this way? Why is my family like this? Are intellectual perspectives really the reason that made me see my life partner very far away from me and not interested in me, and that is why he became really far from me and not interested in me? Am I really in the intellectual perspectives? I used to see that there's a big gap between me and my children, especially the teenagers among them. And why is there really a big gap between me and my children? Are intellectual perspectives really the reason behind everything? See him? Then is it possible? By God, it is possible, by the way, for people who understand the laws of attraction and cosmic laws. I know that this talk is real, and people who understand psychology know that this talk is real, and people who study physical sciences and quantum physics also know that this talk is real, and I hope that someone knows about the laws of attraction, cosmic laws, psychology, the laws of physics and quantum physics. They share with us their information and experiences about the power of intellectual systems in the comments, and they will give you thousands of evidence to prove that this is true. And you, my friend who is a personal follower, have not heard that there are people who live their whole lives paralyzed, because they believe that they are paralyzed, and they do not. There is something in it, and surely you have heard about false pregnancy. How? There is sanctity in it that feeds her intellectual perspectives, that she is pregnant, and her stomach is really swelling, and she is not pregnant exactly, and there are many people you may be among them. There are many opportunities around them, they are able to make change in their lives, and they even succeed in it, but they do not see it because of their intellectual systems, and I will prove this to you. This is when we come to talk about the first 3 habits, God willing. So my friend, follow up. I am sure that you know a person that you like. He knows the importance of intellectual perspectives and changes his intellectual perspectives in order to change his life by sending this video. And if you see that you have benefited, my friend, the follower, do not forget to give me a like and see me on Instagram. I post a clip every day from Sunday to Wednesday. You can follow me. I'll put you the link in the description. And by God, my dear follower friend, if you haven't subscribed to YouTube yet, what are you waiting for? Click the subscribe button. Come on, the dopamine dose is over. Enough for today, my follower friend. Thank you for listening. I will meet you tomorrow, God willing, with a new and better dose. Hello.